Ladies and gentlemen, back. So far the game is scoring very poorly, as you can tell. Let's go ahead and do this, actually. Now that we've taken out the first dungeon, a very solid dungeon. Which is no surprise, because it's a dungeon in this game. Yay, good birthdays are good. Okay, so he's not helpful. Oh no, there's a thing in my way. You got this, Von Falkenstein. I don't even know what that means. But you got this. So, Hyrule Field. I've never heard anybody complain about Hyrule Field before, but it's one of the things I would imagine people would complain about. This is big. It's like a lot bigger than Hyrule Field is back in Ocarina. Like, by at least quintuple the size. Interesting. We're just gonna immediately move on here. Although, actually... I mean, that's what most people say Renegade to be. For obvious reason. And yeah, there's just this giant veil of Twilight in the distance over there. Don't mind that. You can see Hyrule Castle in the Twilight. Don't mind it. Don't mind it. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Wait a minute. If this is Ocarina, then... Okay. Let me kill this thing really quick. Let me kill this thing. Let me kill this thing. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah. I don't think this is as fast as it is in Ocarina. Yeah, I think we'll just go back to dodge rolling. It's okay, ignore the stall dogs. It is there. There we go. Got our first beetle really quick. They're actually a lot easier to spot at night, too. But yeah, that was the one... I actually already told this story. That was the one I could not find. Because I kept looking over at those cliffs over there, because the guide very clearly says on the west side. And I'm like, it's not here! Because of the flipping. Oh, also, they actually added a freaking nighttime theme to this Hyrule Field, which already makes it objectively better than the one in Ocarina and the one in Wind Waker. Speaking of Majora characters. There's a black wall ahead that blocks the way. I thought I would deliver a few letters, but it seems impossible. I am honorable and dependable letter carrier known as the Postman. Please take a letter. Thank you. Onward to mail. That was a weird snort. Amiibo functionality has been enabled. We have a letter from the mail. If when I approach you at high speed, do not flee. I'm here to kill you.
My think one from power.
She just pretty much tells us go to the east, where we see that. Yeah, we'll need to figure out what the amiibos do in this one to decide if it's negative worthy. Amiibos are absolutely something that can qualify as a negative. They are microtransactions.
Anything with big power, you die.
I mean, probably. I'd be surprised if it hasn't already happened. I just haven't noticed it. I do like amiibos as figurines. I have several. But for the game we are reviewing, they are functionally microtransactions. So it depends on exactly what kind of microtransactions are that determine what kind of negatives they might get. Since, after all, there is no such thing as a positive to microtransactions. That's a good boy. Now you need to listen to what I say from now on. Ah, look. How lovely. The black clouds of Twilight are so fetching today. I feel so much more at ease here. And you look so much better than this than those dusty old clothes anyway. So let's get going. Yeah, breath, I think we gave multiple negatives too, if I'm remembering correctly. You learned the youth's scent. It smells like crushed up snails and dirt. And now we can follow that trail. We don't actually need to have the trail there, though, to follow it. We can just follow it. But you know what we should do before we do that? Come here. Come here. Come here. We should unlock a fast travel point. Not that we know that yet. You notice nothing tells you what you get for killing these things. But it does show you that little cutscene after each one you kill. Still. What is this? That's strange. The bridge is gone. What is this? Is the work of those shadow creatures? Ugh, what a pain. Oh well, let's look for it. Get your map out. The yellow arrow marks where we are. You knew that, right? Whenever you destroy those creatures from the darkness, a portal opens like this map. Portal. And, oh my god, are we already unlocking fast travel? Holy crap. Dungeon 1 and we've already got fast travel. Blesses. I think that's only beaten by breath, which unlocks it the moment you start the game. Oh no, it's a good fast travel system. By memory, but we'll put in question marks for now. We'll gauge it. You know, most people can't leave the Twilight that easily. You better be grateful. It's your job to look for the bridge. Look hard. It's right here. It's literally right here. It's perfect, don't you think? What do you think? Should we take it? It does take her a bit of effort to get something that big. Which makes sense. She's not that strong. Strong, but not that strong. Unless you're playing as her in Hyrule Warriors, in which case she's death. I'm more impressed with that feat than lifting it. Just as I thought. So, isn't the power of Twilight amazing? And that's how they unlock fast travel. It's kind of a cumbersome way to do it, but actually I kind of like this. Because fast travel, due to its very nature, is kind of cumbersome to naturally present into a video game style. In fact, I can only think of one other video game ever that has this kind of tutorialization when it comes to its fast travel system, and that's Diablo 3. In Diablo 3, you fast travel, you get to a certain point and you unlock the Hearthstone. And then, like, you're at the end of a dungeon which has no exit, which is unusual. In D3, there's usually a port stone that gets you back to the entrance. And it's a nice long dungeon into the battle, so you could walk all the way out. Or there's this thing that you just got at the end of the dungeon, which you can use to warp back to town. And so that's how they tutorialize you to actually use the darn thing. Huh. What are they doing there? It's a pretty elaborate gate. What are they trying to keep in? Out. I bet it'll be worth our while to dig in. Coca-Cola. Sheep in Big City. That sounds like a name, like a game or a movie or something like that. Like the way you said that. Sounds like a name. So, hang on. Don't tell me. Is it a book? It's a cartoon. Damn. Okay. Well, either way, I've obviously never heard of it. Sorry. So now they're starting to get a little more complex with these, having one guy off to the side like this. Just a little more complex. Worst fast travel system that isn't Starfield. Morrowind doesn't actually have fast travel. To the hero who transformed into a blue-eyed beast in the realm of shadows in Twilight. This way. Yeah, Morrowind has a form of hearth travel, which is the Mark and Recall. And it has waypoint system, which is the mage tower and the boats, and then the driders, the silt driders, or the silt striders, excuse me. But it does not have a fast travel system. I am a spirit of light, blah blah blah. Go do the tears thing. I've already done one of these. Let's see how this one fares. Each one's a little bit more complex than the last time. Hello, Czar.
I'm Power.
I wonder what's it. Ah! I don't see those black brutes anywhere. Gotta be hiding somewhere, waiting for the helpless of the prey to come out. Dindale feast! We are safe as long as you remain here, child. Be at ease. Oh yeah? What if the monsters out there agree with you? They sure didn't seem impressed by my bombs. How long do you see if we can hold this sanctuary against bees that strong, huh? Once they attack, it's over. Remember the lady from the general store? Just one of those things attacked her, and a whole gang from town went to save her. And what happened? She was already gone, and there was 2 monsters waiting. You connecting the dots? That means if we get attacked by them, then we'll be Barnes. Look, Renato, all mental says it's risky here too. Ain't you got some place we can hide? There is a cellar. What? You got a cellar? Where's the entrance, man? The entrance to the cellar is designed to open when all of the candles have been lit. I would not do that. When Father instructed me to secure the cellar, I saw insects like the beasts outside. Don't cry, Beth. It'll be okay. We're just being attacked by monsters that convert us into more of them. Oh, speaking of which, proof positive that all the Twilight monsters are actually people. Whether Hyruleans or Twilight. Don't worry, Lord will save us. I can feel it. Yeah, I wouldn't think of that. These kids knew you'd come to save them. What a hero. How sad to be right in front of them and not be noticed at all. You are chosen by the gods, and only that keeps you from turning into a spirit. Worse, a dark monster, when you enter Twilight. And no one knows what you have done. You may be doomed to toil in obscurity forever. You're the type to worry about everything, I can tell. But don't fret over Princess Zelda. She chose this state of affairs, after all. Anyway, what's with having to light the candles to get to the basement? Not very subtle, is it? Yeah, I've never played a Zelda game before. Look you down, my lonely little hero. Well, you know, Barnes did light a torch and drop a stick for us. So thanks for that, Barnes. Whoop. How am I missing? There we go. Yeah, it took too long. Yeah, why is that floating stick? Ah! The candles. Why is the entrance moving? Ah! I didn't know Renato was a guy for a pretty long time, no. What sorcery is this? The entrance to the cellar opened on its own! Could those beasts have engineered even this? Yeah, we're not joking. They really can see this. They just can't see us. Cripes! Seems like everyone's trying to pull a fast one these days. Well, I don't know who have a clue this Lolfat is, but I've got to say, I ain't overly confident he's going to come save this village. Yet Renato's a guy. What the hell is this thing? Looks like a weird bird statue. And, like, there's a picture of Uku there? It's weird. I wouldn't worry about that. How about that? Looks like you can climb the scaffolding. Would you? Thank you. Yeah, I can't be the only person who, for large swaths of the game, would just run around with the sense vision on. I try not to do that for the sake of the stream, but when I was playing, like, initially, yeah, I just play it like this for a while. do like how this is probably the same Kakariko. Still the little mountain town nestled up against Death Mountain. Still makes sense. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Ah, yeah. That's the visibility I crave. None! Okay, so... this one next. Oop, not there. Come here. Here, that I might eat you. Yes! Come here! Yeah! Come here to your death, little geese. You deserve to die. You deserve... Hi, Walker. Yeah, the brown complaint gets a lot worse when you get to, you know, the mountain area. I mean, yeah, it was normal. You gotta be serious and gritty and brown. You're welcome, Jolly Leprechaun. And sorry. Listen, everything's got to be run. GTA 4 is brown. Gears of War is brown. A lot of other games, I can't think of the name, overall brown. Oh yeah, we gotta have the orange filter, which means you're in Mexico, apparently. I'm not gonna ask where that comes from. And then Fallout 3 is green! Lantern's extremely prohibitive. Oh yeah, it's very flammable in here. So that makes sense. There you go. Now it's not brown. Now it's green. The radiation filter. Yeah, Oblivion actually wasn't brown. It was very green and gray. But still, it wasn't brown. Yeah, Tiberian Morris is very, green. Whoop. What's funny is one of the earliest mods I saw, even before the mod kit was like released for Fallout 3, was remove the green filter. Because it was just such a simple thing. It's just a reshade, right? Or whatever they called those back then, but it's the same concept. Listen, sleep is for the weak, and me, which is why I was delayed in coming back to stream, because I decided to lay down. Because I said I'd take care of myself, so I apologize for not streaming more. What did I have for lunch? I know I had some leftover Blondie, because my sister made some for me. I might add burritos, as I've been going through my leftover burrito supply. You make like a big old batch of burritos and you just reheat them for a few days. Alright, I'll buy it. What is Loco Moco? Because Loco Moco sounds delicious. It's the kind of thing that would make me ride Bragwin over. Sex joke. Alright, so, oh, that sounds really good, Bragwin. Of course, everything you cook sounds really good. So he's just in there, but I can't get him out. This is, I think, one of our first actual puzzle ones. Since we already know how to light the fire in order to even reach this point. That's how we smoke them out. There'll be more complex ones later. But notice they're trying to vary it up a little bit more than just find bug and then kill bug. I would have never have guessed that you're drunk, Mr. Red. Is Dawn Trail that bad? So, I gotta know what a California burrito is in context, Mr. Ross there. Don't worry, I won't play it anytime soon. I might not play anything anytime soon. That'll be weird. Alright, so spoilers, but at the very beginning of Dawn Trail, that happens. I'm actually pretty sure I couldn't play Dawn Trail right now, even if I, like, had the time and availability. French fries? That sounds weird. So I had a random comment, and I would like people's feedback on this. Honest feedback. As opposed to the dishonest kind I know you guys give me all the time. I have already heard people tell me that this has been a more enjoyable watch than watching me play Wind Waker. Now, before I go into that a little bit, from my perspective, I've been a lot more tired because I have been pretty out of it today. I've been having trouble sleeping, and so, you know, that's why I took that nap during the lunch break. But I've also been in a much better mood, so even though I'm not as energetic, I am in a much, much better overall mood, and I'm clearly enjoying myself more, and maybe that's part of it. And I've also been told the game has more going on. Like, literally, just it's more engaging to watch, because a lot of Wind Waker, if you remember, was really, really boring. Like, huge swaths of Wind Waker, which is just shove, 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 pull, pull, pull. Alright, now to swim to the area. Da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. Like, there's just a lot of dead air. Yeah, exactly. Why is there no music? Play this. And then we play the Sun Song. Just so I can hear some freaking music. Twilight Princess is also extremely dense early on. It's not like this is a perfect game. There will be a point later on where the Jesus Christ, $16. That's more than I was guessing. I was going to guess 9. And I thought that was the highballing it. Twilight Princess will have some pacing problems later on. It actually has a bit of the Final Fantasy IX problem there. It's really, really, really dense, tight, amazing intro that then hits a point where it's just kind of like, ugh. I'm sorry, it was a joke. I wasn't telling you you were giving false feedback. I was telling everybody they were giving false feedback, and obviously it's a joke. I shouldn't have to clarify that. If anybody else is telling you you're giving them false feedback, then they're wrong and dumb. Dakota, any questions? Right. Bombs area. That's where I want to go next. Yeah, I've been told a lot that terrible games make for good streams. And also great games, but mostly terrible. That's the kind of feedback I tend to get. Starfield. Oh my god. Starfield was a weirdly dense stream. Because it was just... There were just so many examples of what it was doing wrong. It just... I've had so many opportunities to talk about game design concepts that we had solved 30 years ago. Because it was that bad. Remind me, Frieza. Oh, you mean staying inside in a few seconds here? Sure, let's hit this button. Yeah, it helped that Wind Waker just kind of nailed it on the outro. It's actually really funny because I've said for years that people most remember an intro and an outro. And people remember Wind Waker quite fondly, and that game had a really good intro and a really good outro. Go figure. Well, Bionic Punk, I would rather die than play the Malamar theme. Okay, no problem. I already know what to do, because we've been doing this whole time. What did you do? Sorry, but as romantic as this is, I'm not going to stay here with you. I'm getting out. But Midna. Midna, why would you leave me here? Midna, no! I like how they're still flying around here on fire. If you don't hurry up and get out, can't even say it. I've got to get the bug, Midna. You don't understand. And we're dead. So, yeah, the penalty for failure is really good in this one. It's pretty much last checkpoint. And in a game like this, last checkpoint is just, you know, the last load screen. I don't even remember if that was that way in the original, but I know it's that way in the HD version. Oh, and it is a minor but interesting touch that Midna does not like killing, because why would she want people to die? She's not a killer. Like, we've talked about this before, especially in fiction. There's a gradient of separation between someone who is willing to, you know, be out for themselves and someone who is a murderer. Well, you had to sacrifice someone's house to find the tears of life. That's how the cookie crumbles, right? And this is a good time as any to bring up the gameplay and story integration this game has, of which there's quite a lot. But the biggest and the most important aspect here is gating, of all things. Hear me out for a second. So one of the things that this game does, let me walk that back. One of the things every Zelda game does is it prevents you from accessing Area A until you have item B, right? That's been true since Zelda 1. But in almost every single case in this game, there's a narrative reason for you being locked away, rather than purely a gameplay one. And I'm actually with that for the most part. So you're probably thinking, what does that have to do with the house blowing up? Well, the house blowing up was the storehouse for the bombs. That's why it blew up. With that blown up, we have just lost access to bombs. And so when we restore this place, we will no longer have access to bombs. Or I guess I should say we will continue to not have access to bombs because he needs to refill his stock. Once he does so later on in the game, then we'll have access to them again when we need to be able to access further areas. Make sense? There's actually several. In fact, we've already encountered 2 similar circumstances like that throughout the course of the game. Thank you for being part of the show, Drakaji. Yeah, there's very, very few waist-high fences in this game, and I know it's a minor point, but I tend to appreciate that mostly because waist-high fences piss me off so much. Eastward, Star Fox block, and Kirby block. Like, it's really frustrating to be told, you can't go over... I mean, there's a reason we call it waist-high fences, right? It's because the old standard is you literally can't go past a fence that comes up to your waist. Why? Well, because you're not supposed to go past that. Well, yeah, but, like, I could just clearly... I could walk right over the fence. I could just... Look, I could... Let me go this way! And gaming has drifted in and out of how good of a job they do of preventing you from progressing in ways that make sense versus waist-high fences. And yeah, I was gonna say, Gen 1 Pokemon. Oh no, there's a bush in your way. How e'er shall you progress? Looks like the path's impassable, but I can get you up it if you want to go. So here's the Gorons of this one. A little more tattooed, but otherwise, they're Gorons. Gorons almost never change. Yeah, it's true. If it's not a sapling you can cut, then piss off. Why do I have to stand guard? The ladder's destroyed, so it's not like any humans will come up. And what is with the elders? If we have a problem the humans can help with, we should ask. It's better than suffering for the sake of our pride. Thank you. Oh my god, some of you probably don't, most of you probably don't remember this. All the way back in the day, we streamed a game. It was one of our earlier review streams, back before we codified the current system. And I forget what it was called, but it was the Call of Duty game about World War II. Do you remember that one? There's this sequence. Do you mind? I'm trying to talk here. I'm gonna eat you. I'm gonna eat you! I know that doesn't narrow it down. No, not one of the first ones. This is a recent... Well, at the time, it was a brand new game. It had just come out. And there's this one sequence where we have to... I can actually... It was Call of Duty World War II. I can actually remember the map, even in my head right now. We come down like a hill, and then we go around a house. And we're supposed to go into a house, through the house, out the other side, and onto the train. The train was our destination. So I'm looking, and I see a very clear, obvious path on the road to the train. And I die trying to figure out why. And it took me a couple attempts, if you remember, to like figure out what the hell was going on. It turns out there was this gigantic invisible wall across the road. And, like, yeah, there was, like, a car there, but I could easily and effortlessly have jumped over the car and gotten over the railroad. And the game told me the railroad was actually my objective. And I've always remembered that in my brain, as I'm probably screwing up some of the individual details. It's on stream. But I've always remembered that as, like, the example of how not to do guidance in a video game. Because it's like, the game... We've talked about this before, right? It's all about camera usage and inclinations of terrain and visual details to draw your attention. So you go down and you go like this, and you're staring down the road at the train, which you know is your destination, and there's just a small road and a car in your way, and there's some enemies over to the left. So it's like, okay, swoosh. But no, it wants you to charge into the enemies and then through the house to go through the window to be able to access the railroad. And it's like... Speaking of how not to's in gaming. So I'm going to be 100% honest with you, Yura. I don't remember Deus Ex 1 well enough to give any reasoned opinion on it. Not that I don't remember it, but I don't remember it well enough, you know what I mean? So, I have no idea. Hell, I barely remember Human Revolution. I played that one, too. The only Deus Ex game I remember with any distinction is Mankind Divided. We did a stream of that one. Well, that's... Do you hear something? So I'm going to admit, I'm not very musically inclined, which I know is funny, considering I literally remix music. So I didn't notice the song we were playing here. Or I guess I should say songs. Each one of these is a song from either Ocarina or Majora. Nice, Rex. Congrats. Having only played Majora's Mask like a few days ago, it's a little more obvious. I'd say I blame both equally, Jelly Leprechaun. I know, right, Frieza? I never noticed, but again, we just played Majora, so it's a lot more recent in my memory, and it's like, oh, wow! How did I not notice that? Interesting. I swear they added these shadows for the HD version to make it more obvious where the buried ones are. I could be wrong. Maybe I just never saw the shadows in the GameCube version. What's funny is this game had less changes to it than the Wind Waker version did, but I would still never go back to the original, if nothing else because I can actually tell what the hell I'm looking at in this version of the game. Like, I'm sorry. The GameCube version of this game was just indistinct. See, the reasoning there for me, Jelly Leprechaun, is, on the one hand, obviously people are to blame, and they are. If it's a very, very, very common economic principle. If you don't pay for something, they don't do it. They don't make it. The reason people do those kind of things is because they make money, right? Now, that's not universally true, but that is a fairly common commonality in business. If people didn't spend money on all the bullcrap gotcha garbage, then they wouldn't be making billions of dollars off of it. However, the companies don't just get a free pass there because they are the ones pulling all the manipulative psychological bullcrap to try and, frankly, ensnare people, right? Like, we call them predatory practices for a reason. Sure, it's your fault that I stabbed you, but I'm still the one who came at you with a knife, you know what I mean? And yes, I'm comparing those to knife stabbers. I don't see any issues here. Yeah, it's not enabling, it's active, it's predation. It is actually preying. Why do I have to stand guard at a dead end at the bottom of a cliff like this? Wait a second. They tucked me out of the way because they think I'm useless? Oh yeah, that reminds me. Plus to story. Storytelling mechanic. People's thoughts. We only use it a few times, but every Twilight section, we get to see people's, for lack of a better way to put it, inner monologue. The stuff they are not willing to say around other people. And they almost always use it to good effect to add a little bit of additional characterization or flavor to individuals. Did I knock that thing out of bounds? Because it looks like I knocked that thing out of bounds. Yeah, anyways, moving on. Does gacha count as gambling legally? So it actually depends on the country. That is something that quite a few lawmakers in several countries, and in some cases states, have been lobbying for, is to legally classify gacha as gambling. You might think, who cares? Well, it's because we actually have, at least here in the States, we have a lot of rules and regulations with regards to how gambling operates. We let casinos get away with a lot, but trust me, they would get away with a lot more if we let them. And casinos are responsible for more things with regards to customer safety and making sure that there's a fairly large amount of information up front with regards to how the casino operates. And of course, there are some taxation concerns on top of all of that. Gacha, by contrast, is almost totally unregulated. Yeah, exactly. Gacha is the kind of thing that my niece could effortlessly pick up and start playing and spending money on without even really meaning to. And that's honestly not cool. I know I'm sounding like an old fuddy-duddy here, but I do have nieces to think about here, so shrug. Another fumarole. Once again, it's at the worst possible place. Suppose this pass is impassable now. Good to know. Probably, Ross. Not that I mind the Zelda block, and I think it's been a pretty solid block overall. I'd like to think it's a solid block, I don't know. Anxiety. But I wouldn't mind having to split it up a bit. Kind of like how we are doing with the Yakuza blocks, for example. Yeah, it's a little late now. We've only got 3 Zelda games left, and I'm playing one of them. I mean, what's really funny is we've been knocking out games at a very good rate. About an average of 3 days per game, which is pretty fast. It's just, there's like 20 Zelda games. Aw, it's just starting to have fun. Don't forget the Fused Shadow. See you later. Yeah, Breath... I'm sorry, Ross, don't take it personally. Breath just hit me across the knees, honestly. Even I didn't realize how long Breath was going to be, and I was prepped for that. Yeah, no, I honestly, this block would be finishing pretty smoothly if not for the move. I don't know what I can do about that. My name is Eldon. I am this person, blah, 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 blah. The dark power you seek lies up there. And Death Mountain looks so weird in this version. Those grounds have already been defiled, draped in shadow, seeded with evil. You must go to the sacred grounds and cleanse them. Honestly, I could give you an average of the Zelda game's length right now. Because I keep track of that kind of thing. Yeah, let's just pull up a calculator. We'll do it manual-like. While this cutscene's playing. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We saved you 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we've gone through 15 games. Good uses of music. Good cutscene. Yep, make sure you get that Spanish insurance, because otherwise... how do I get average here? Yeah, average of that, please. 17.99 hours is the average length right now, and that's every Zelda game. And I point that out Because obviously that includes Breath, which swings it one way, but also Zelda 1, Zelda 2, and Link to the Past, all of which swing it the other way. Remember, we've had a 6-hour game in this block. See, Beth, I told you Laura would save us. Oh no, Breath never pissed me off. I just was ready to be done with it, you know what I mean? Zelda 2 was the only time... Thank you for reminding me. Sorry, the minus key is also mute audio. So if I'm doing math on my numpad. Anyways, the Zelda 2 run is the only time I have gotten legitimately angry at this entire block. I've yelled a couple of times, but as we've talked before, that's not real anger. That's venting and trying to be a little entertaining about venting. Zelda 2 pissed me off. Well met. I am Renato, shaman of this town. Yeah, the run is my daughter Luda. Poor guy. The beast took us and left us to die, but Mr. Renato found us. At first I couldn't believe they had come from so distant a place as the Ordona province. Yeah, we don't remember much. All of a sudden everyone was captured, and then until now it's been like a nightmare. Yeah, it was a terrible dream and we couldn't wake up. Nightmares are everywhere these days, it seems. This village has certainly seen its share of recent hardships. The dark beasts attacked, but even worse was the sudden, inexplicable change in the mountain-dwelling Goron tribe. Probably one of my favorite takes on the Goron theme right here, by the way. They had long been our friends, but suddenly treated us as foes, and even now they refuse to permit us entry to their minds. It strains the limits of belief to think that such a gentle and proud tribe could change so suddenly. Makes me wonder if something in those minds is the cause of this change. In any case, you must take these children and flee this village before more nightmares descend. I, of course, cannot leave the village in such a time. There's no telling what may happen to us here. It's my job to try and coax the Gorons back from their recent change of heart. There are Zora. There are no Rito. Ruto, we'll talk about her. Ruto is one of the most overtly direct connecting points to Ocarina, but we'll talk about her later. I don't want to leave all these people just to save ourselves. Come on, Laura, can't you do something? Isn't there some way to make up with the Gorons? You think someone would go to the mines and do something. I also am unabashedly fond of this song. It's a really good town theme. Laura, trying to go to the mines is very dangerous. I'll be very sad to be separated from calling the others, but I know they must go. Please return them to their parents. Let me think about that for a minute, Ross. I still haven't even finished telling you about Caretaker. I don't know what's in the Goron mines, but surely they will soon come to understand and right what is wrong. Do not concern yourself with me. You must flee this place as quickly as possible. Okay, bye. Bye. Bye forever. Bye. Bye. Are you coming? Are you coming? Time to kill them all. By the way, fun little factoid about this place. It's basically a dead town at the moment because everyone's been captured or killed or converted into the Twilight Beasts. Unjokingly, this is not a joke. These 2 people plus Barnes, that's 3 people, are the only survivors of the original denizens. Now you're probably thinking, how's that a town? Well, something they do here in contrast to something like, say, Ocarina or even Majora's, is the town starts out empty and it slowly fills up over time. So more and more NPCs are going to show up as we go through the game. And I think that's a nice little touch. It makes me wonder if they wanted to do something even more like that, which may or may not have been the original inspiration for the, I forget what it's called, town in Breath of the Wild. Yeah, no, they've... Terrytown, that's it, thank you. Well, whatever, let's go get our bombs from Barnes, the bombs guy. I would probably, if I had to sit down That's my phrase if I had to sit down. Hang on. Cripes, my storehouse, my powder. What happened? And foul beasts. Yes, yes, the monsters blew up your bomb storehouse. Anyways, so moving on immediately. I'm a builder at heart. What can I say about it, Punk? I'm the guy who adhered to ActRaiser back in the day, even though that game actually sucks, because you could build in it at all. Oh yeah, I took out his meth farm too, obviously. If I was to play Breath of the Wild again, how much of it would I play? No humans allowed. Human strength is nothing compared to a Goron's. Understand me, human, then away with you. May not like his job, but he's certainly doing it, isn't he? Jesus. See, it's not quite a joking answer to say that I might just do the plateau and then put the game down. Because the problem is, for me, the only way I can enjoy Breath past the plateau is by being overpowered as hell, by having all of the gear and all of the hearts and all the stamina to really be able to enjoy the game, which involves doing the overwhelming majority of the game, which is something I don't particularly want to do. So, yeah, I think I'd probably do the plateau, and then I'd try my hand at Hyrule Castle. How fortunate you are in one piece. I saw you heading up the mountain trail, so I was worried. Are you trying to reach the Gorons of Death Mountain? It's far too dangerous, Lore. They recognize only strength. A normal person could never persuade them. But I do know of one person who was able to best them and earn their trust. His name is Bo. You may know him as the mayor of your hometown, Ordon. Please go to him, and while you're there, please let him know the children are safe. Of course, getting them back would be best, but we could not keep them safe from the monsters on a road without a horse and a cart. Interesting. Please return to Ordon and inform the parents that their children are free from harm. Give them my word. The 4 champions be like, yeah, you should have been in good dungeons, you jackasses. Alright, so. I have no idea, Venetia. I don't use either. Why is there so much blood on it? Oh, no, it's to make the gate faster. Okay. Hyrule Castle is legitimately the other best part about Breath of the Wild, in my opinion. The only thing that even comes close to it is the plateau, and the plateau is a masterclass in design. Brigwin! Oh my god, they're trying to ride Brigwin! Nobody rides Brigwin but me! They can't handle the braid. Come back here, Brigwin. I'll join you on... I'll jump on you from behind if I've got to. That's it. That's it. Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? Although I think the real Brigman has better hair. Huh, you're not too shabby a wrangler after all. Won't this make getting back to your town a lot easier? Now finish your errand so we can get back. Come on, get a move on. Yeah, actually, fun factoid. So, we already talked about how they unlock fast travel very early. But they also unlock Epona very early. This is... they move both travel options early, and I think this is presumptive, because we're not there yet. But I think part of the reason the increased size of certain areas of Twilight don't bother me as much is because they give you more traversal kit much earlier. Because, now we get the bike from Earthbound, right? Speaking of which, Epona might actually qualify as a kit positive. Favorite part about this game? The ice dungeon. No spoilers. Just that whole section. The atmosphere, the music, the puzzle, the level design, the flow of the place, the upgrading unlock as you're going through it, the boss. Sir. Greetings, Mr. Lar. I've come to deliver a letter. It's a letter from Uku. My business is concluded. Onward to mail. Yeah, Epona... I didn't give Epona a negative in Ocarina, but I almost did. Because the harsh reality is they just underuse her. Oh, by the way, this Epona can do things like... Oh, yeah, I can't even hit him. It can run over enemies. It can just straight up kill enemies by running over them. I mean, Link Between Worlds had a really solid ice dungeon, too. Breath of the Wild horses were kind of ancillary. Awkward, irritating, frustrating to use, couldn't summon on will unless you got the frickin' optional item. Here, Epona is really useful, and, as you can see, allows us to traverse halfway across the map in seconds. And you can loot while on top of it, and you can fight while on top of it. Like, this is a well-designed thing here. Yeah, you can also warp while on Epona. That's another thing. Also, you can do that. To dismount instantly. And I know that sounds like a minor thing, but no, really. Think about the convenience feature of being able to dismount a mount instantly. Just whoosh, like that, like I just did. Remember how many times in Ocarina I'd be like, alright, hang on. You have to come to a complete stop, and you have to be at a complete stop because the dismount button is the same as the dash button on Ocarina of Time. So you have to come to a complete stop, then hit the dash button, and then dismount, get off the horse, walk around it, and then go to your destination. Here, shunk, done. And yeah, notice Epona is also much faster in this version. Like, she really is a great method of travel. No, I actually like this outfit. Call me a weirdo. Don't mistake me. I'm glad when we get away from the typical green hero uniform. But as I mentioned back in Ocarina, I like the look of the chainmail underneath the hauberk. Or however you pronounce it. Lore? Yeah, what's up? It is you. You're safe and sound. Where's my daughter? I don't know yet. What happened to you, lad? He's even got solid bracers for the bow. Honestly, this is probably my favorite green tunic in the series right here. So, they're over at Kakariko, and Renato's got him. Well, that's good. Renato's an old friend. If they're in his care, well, we can relax. So, don't keep me waiting, lad. Tell me my little girl. Ilya's with the rest of them, right? Oh, I see. That ain't what I wanted to hear. But, Lord, Guess I need to think of all 5 of those poor kids, not just my own. They're all in danger. What I should be asking is how I can help out. Yeah, agreed, Czar. Absolutely. It's a nice combination of style and utility, and I happen to like utility as style. It's kind of rare, but you know, whenever I see it, I'm just like, oh, that's cool. See, Renato told you. It's true, I did defeat the Gorons in a contest of strength, and earned their trust, with the help of a little secret. I can't teach you the secret, but you have to promise me you absolutely, positively will not disclose it to anyone. Good, alright then. Absolutely no one. Come this way. So how many attempts do you think this is going to take? Because I usually suck at this minigame. You heard of sumo wrestling, right? Gorons like to match strength in sumo contests. Luckily for you, the basics of sumo are the same as stopping charging goats. Let's do it. Alrighty, I'll teach you the basics of sumo. You do this thing, and you do this thing, and you do this thing. Okay. I'm good. Does that answer you, Bionic Punk? So there's a couple of tricks to this. So, this isn't very in-depth. This is basically rock, paper, scissors, when you really boil it down to it. There are a couple of tricks, because he'll likely do certain things depending on his position, but otherwise, it's rock, paper, scissors. Alright, next time I won't go easy on you, lad. This is how Gorons do diplomacy, and that is what we're here to learn. Jesus. Oh, wow. Nope, I lost. God damn. Just wrecked me there. Just let Morgana go. They're probably just trying to steal someone's heart. You've gotten a sight stronger in the short time you've been gone, Lore. Strong as you are, though, can't hope to beat the Gorons wrestling with power alone. The Gorons are made of rock. Ah, the secret of beating the Gorons is locked away in that chest. Link's a rancher. He's probably pretty jacked, yeah. We've actually talked about this already. You can probably tell. His boots are made of iron, lad. Whoever wears them won't easily be pushed around, even by a Goron. Fixing to fight a Goron, be sure to wear those boots. Let's be square, though, lad. You can't tell anyone about those boots, especially Renato. You got it, buddy. Interestingly enough, that is actually our dungeon item for the next dungeon. Although there's another item we get in the dungeon, too. Still, you could see how they were already experimenting with what they would eventually use in A Link Between Worlds. Getting a dungeon item before you go in. Then again, Twilight Princess is weird about its dungeon design. And by weird, I mean awesome. Because rather than centering the entire dungeon around a single item, they tend to center their dungeons around multiple items. And that works really well for them. Right, before I forget.
Might be.
Okay. Yeah, we should do that while we're here. Yeah, I like the awkward zombie comic about the iron boots here. I just keep referencing Awkward Zombie this whole run. This is just the Awkward Zombie sponsored run. Awkward Zombie. Go buy a shirt from her. Or whatever she sells. I don't actually know what she sells. Hello? Can I help you? Ah! This would be great-grandfather or great-great-grandfather, depending. But either way. You have a little more the look of a hero than you did before. You ready for the next skill? First, demonstrate you learned the last skill. Okay. Excellent. It appears you are certainly capable of performing by lost art. Very well. My second skill is the shield attack. Let it be hewn into your mind. Also, this is the most talkative Link ever is in the entire franchise. No matter how well-tempered a blade is, if a foe is clad in armor and bears a shield, the sword will do it no harm. When faced with a foe, use this to do a shield thrust. Actually, I love this, by the way. I love getting new moves as the way to progress. Sure, we get a little bit more damage later, and we get a few other buffs, but what we really get is new kit, new moveset. This is the same trick that Mario 64 practiced quite some time ago. And honestly, it's one of the things Zelda 2 did right. 5 more secrets to show you. The path to becoming a true hero is a long one. Once you have grasped all the hidden skills, you should be worthy of walking it. You must persist on the lonely path of the sword to obtain true courage and earn the strength to conquer the great evils of the world. Do not forget your discipline with the sword before we meet again. Which? Okay. By the way, that ability we just got is completely optional, as is every ability past the first. Which is funny, because they're all pretty useful. We got to right when they first saw the array. Also known as when the episode starts to get bad. But everything up to that is just gold. Pure gold. For example, continuing the trend of actually doing some good establishment, bringing, what is it? It was Harry, Tom, and the CMO, the doctor, who the lore running is like, wait, where's the doctor? I mean, where's the bot? Where's the robot? And I was like, don't worry about it. He'll show up later. And she was like, oh, okay. Anyways, I just thought that was funny. Where's Robert Picardo? So they go meet the doctor, and the doctor's a dick. And Tom is not a dick. Fine, Jolly Leprechaun. Fine. Come here, I gotta kill you. I gotta kill you, because you're now the Jolly Leprechaun. Okay, so. Tom is actually pretty polite. Let me use a specific example there. He goes to meet the XO, who's also nameless. And the XO reaches out his hand to Harry, grips it, and Harry's like, hey, and the XO's like, hey. Then he looks at Tom. There's a noticeable second pause, like a second of pause. Tom reaches out his hand, is like, hey. And the XO very hesitantly takes it, says nothing to him, and then immediately goes back to his duties. And God, I love Robert McNeil's faces. He does so much wonderful stuff with his expression in the whole first episode. Like, it's funny how much of the intro part of the episode is just setting up Tom and his dynamic with the others. So then they take off. They have the big flashy, we're going to go check this out thing. Then they go down to 10 forward. Or, sorry. They go to the mess hall. Actually, one of the things that the Lord Runny and I kept doing is comparing the style and visuals of the sets compared to TNG. Because TNG was a lot more warm, a lot more earthly colors, and a lot more homely and comfortable. This is a lot more military and a lot more sharp looking. It also looks more futuristic in general. Another little interesting anecdote, though. So obviously the TNG bridge was designed and built, back in 88, I think it was, 87, something like that. And they didn't really think about the consequences of making the set. And so that's where the black paper thing comes from, right? Because the black paper thing was trying to make up for the fact that they didn't think about things like reflections and lights and camera and the dozens of people in the set in the background when they were designing the bridge. When they were making Voyager's bridge, they'd actually thought about all that crap. In fact, if you look at it from a purely mechanical and engineering perspective, it's brilliant. Because the Voyager set's like this, right? There's a station over here, station here, 2 in the back, 1 in the middle. And it's all very nicely symmetrical. But the point is, each of them is nicely isolated, which means you can do all kinds of camera and lighting and character work and storyboarding all in each section of the bridge separately, right? Every single one of them can either be part of an overall shot or an individual shot. And there's no need to worry about, hang on, are we going to see the boom mic in the background, right? Just stuff like that. Very well designed. Oh yeah, there's another very, very, very minor thing they showcased, which I actually rather liked. And that was, there are chairs at Tuvok and Harry's stations. Now, if you don't understand the significance of that, that makes perfect sense for 2 reasons. I want you to imagine for a second. I want you to imagine that you are an actor, and you have to be in uniform, in set, with makeup on the set, ready to go, and then everyone else has to finish getting the shot ready. That's the lighting people, that's the camera people, that's the director, that's the people running through the lines, that's the person talking to the actual person on the booms, all that stuff. So you're standing there for minutes or hours a day just waiting, and you have no chair. So the fact that they added a chair is nice for the actors who can actually just sit and wait for their turn to be ready to go. But it also makes sense in universe, because in universe you can also, the actual characters, when there's nothing urgent going on, can just sit back and relax at their station. But if something's real, then they can get up and actually get back to their station. It's such a minor thing, but it's so much more logical. All right, so, hey, what's up? 110. I don't think I'm going to manage that. I don't even remember what I have to manage. The tots are safe. They're all in Kakariko. Oh, shucks. You don't need to worry about that now. You're incredible. I can already see everyone's smiling faces. Okay, so can we do the thing now? Brought Bregwin, huh? Oh, trust me, Bregwin goes with me for everywhere. Want to round the goats up for first time at a dog's age? But these scamps are sure happy to see you. I'll leave it you do today. Alright, here we go. Terrible luck, go. Okay. No, don't. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Get out of my way! Ugh. Ugh, this is already going off to a terrible start. Where's that stray? That stray's gonna cost me. God damn it. This is just my life right here. Oh my god, this freaking jackass. Go this way. All this for 2 goats. All this for 2 goats. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my god, that was terrible. I don't remember what I'm trying to aim for. I was still terrible. Apparently that was enough. God damn. That was awful. So we have the mess hall scene next, right? And this is the culmination of a lot of the Paris stuff that's been done for pretty much the entire episode up till this point. Paris goes in, and there's this great sequence where he's talking to the replicator, trying to get some hot tomato soup, and he's obviously a little bit on edge. Like, his movements are a little bit stilted and jerky, but he's mostly just like, whatever. Then he looks over and he sees Harry talking to the CMO and the XO. And they glance at him very pointedly and then look back at Harry. And McNeil does this great thing. His expression immediately sours, but his smile never falters. It's just like he's smiling, and then every single other part of his face melts around the smile. It's great. Then he gets distracted by the tomato soup. Good pacing for the scene. Brings the tomato soup over to Harry. And Harry's like, "Did you do it?" And Tom, God, I love his acting here. Tom does this great thing where he explains in a way that makes it very obvious that he felt guilty for what he did. And he cared about what he did. He's a very moral person. We found it almost made that Paris is actually a very moralistic individual. Very Kirk-inspired. So he felt bad about what happened. He felt bad and guilty and decided to come forward about it. And it did nothing but ruin his life. But you can tell he doesn't regret it, even as he's making fun of himself for it. Even as he mocks himself, he's mostly just down on himself. And, you know, Harry's just like, I don't understand, really. I just zoom the camera a little bit better here. I don't remember where it is. It's been a while. I haven't gotten heart pieces in this game in a long time. In fact, I've only done it once. So I don't remember them nearly as well as I do, say, the bugs, which I get almost every playthrough. So, he confronts Harry, but then he says something which is brilliant. He tells Harry, "You know what? Those guys probably told you to stay away from me. And you know what? They're right." But he doesn't do it for any of the typical reasons. Instead, he does it for very clear and obvious care for Harry. The specific reason he says it is he says, I forget the exact wording, but you know, "No, Drakashi, no, 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 no." He says, "Bad things happen to people who get close to me." There it is. See, I thought you meant over there, which is why I kept looking up there. Meanwhile, Ross is completely ignoring me. That's okay. Well, yeah, Tom knows the lick the Nacarno does. So, yeah, he obviously shows concern and care for Harry. And he's just generally an interesting guy. And I love that the first thing Harry says is, like, Harry thinks about it for like a solid 2 seconds. And then he says, no, I think I can decide my friends for myself, thanks. And that's pretty much their friendship in a nutshell, right there. Just bam. Harry obviously gives a damn about, or sorry, Tom gives a damn about Harry, and Harry gives a damn about Tom. Right back to him. Boom. I love that. I love that. And it's so honest, and it's so character-y. Instead of action-y. Not that I dislike action in Trek, but, you know. Oof. Well, the good news is, there's nothing bad that's going to happen to anyone ever again. So the Moblins are back. Probably wondering why this place isn't under Twilight. I kind of like this. Beth just completely just locks up here. Colin... Nice little moments of levity. And now it's time to rescue the children. Who's ready for round one? And notice, Link's pissed. We've talked many times about how Wind Waker Link gets characterization. Not a lot of people acknowledge how much characterization Twilight Link gets. And it's almost in the exact same way, too. Facial expression, body language. Don't ask how he tied that up so quickly. Just don't. Alright, little snot. And if this looks familiar, then yes, this was directly inspired by the Two Towers, as we've actually already talked about. Remember there's mounted combat in this game? Well, I hope you remember that. Because they did. Yep, Aragorn and the Warg Riders. And there are other people there too, but you know. If it's not obvious, you decide which direction you swing. Like that. I like it. I'm already considering it for another positive. Probably 2. But we'll see. There's actually not as much of it in the game as I'd like. There's only a few set pieces. It does, Rex. It makes perfect sense. That's why you always want to lean right. That's to say, you always want him to swing left. No, if you notice, it's also arguably not Tom at first, too. Right, there's a lot of not actually that character. Chakotay is another good example. That's not Chakotay in Caretaker. It makes sense. I was reading up on it. Most of Caretaker was written by Jerry Taylor and Rick Berman. Two people who are not really good writers who would not go on to write most of the rest of Voyager. So it makes sense that they're just different and weird, right? Early installment weirdness. You get it. I mean, look at Nog. I like this song, by the way. Hey, there's one of those weird bird statues again. That's weird. Yeah, Jake's another good example. I mean, TNG is probably the example of that. Look at Data. Data doesn't become Data until mid-season 2. Picard doesn't become Picard until season 2. Riker doesn't become Riker until season 3. You get it. If you're wondering about the delay, it's waiting for him to get to the other side. We have to play fair, after all. Damn it. Anyway, so we're dead. Colin's dead. Everyone's dead. Zant wins. So Colin was eaten by goblins, the end. We'll decide in a minute, Act, but yeah, I'm having weird issues. I don't remember having this many issues doing this. Like, I've hit him 3 times now, but nothing's actually happened, any of the hits, and I'm kind of confused by that. Like, I'm not... It's always the worst feeling, right, when you don't know what you're doing wrong. I don't understand why I haven't hit him yet. That was weird. Okay. What? I didn't even know that was physically possible. Now I really don't know what's going on. Holy crap. Hit him again. That's 4 times now that I've hit him and nothing has happened. Missed him completely. Yeah, I know, I hit his horn, but it still registered an impact, which means I hit him, it just didn't do anything. Which, you know, isn't really good, to be really blunt. In a game like, you remember how I was praising this game for being more video gamey? Well, this is less video gamey, and that's not a good thing. So we'll just be here until the game decides to allow me to actually hit the guy, and then we'll move on. There we go. See, nothing about that feels any different from any of the times when I actually hit the horn or the mount or whatever. Also, did you notice that unless I have the sword out, I can't actually swing, which I know sounds like a duh thing, but why would you ever, under any circumstances, not have the sword out for this sequence? Negative to gameplay. That sucks. Cola and horseradish. Well, that would probably immediately induce vomiting, Eurus. That would be helpful. Oh god, what is that guy's name? King Bulbin. There it is. I'm afraid, in your anger, Darth Colin, you killed her. Good. Beth, I'm sorry. You know, for shoving you. You mad? I think I finally understand. I understand what my dad meant when he told me I needed to be stronger like you, Laura. He wasn't talking about strength, like lifting stuff. He was talking about being brave. Suddenly his hand starts glowing with the lower right triangle. Laura, you saved me, didn't you? Yeah, that's my job. You can do anything! Yeah, I've seen speedruns of this game, trust me. You can do something to help the Gorons in the mine, too, can't you? Yeah, actually. Poor Colin. Thanks, Renato. No, it wouldn't be for another 10,000 years before we would gain the ability to climb mountains. But yeah, I'm sorry. I love this game to death. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to give it negatives. Give me a break. If you know anything about me, you know I am not ashamed to give negatives, positives. Point in fact, if you were paying attention, I gave that sequence a positive and a negative. Alright, FF6 totally won't get any negatives, because it's so perfect. Oh, please notice me, senpai. Sorry. Oh my god, that freaking baseball thing. Okay. Time to go talk to the Gorons. Wait, hang on. Do you see that? Where did... Huh? That looks different. There's more posters up on the wall, too. Hey, you can look at stuff, but don't you dare just take things. It's my valuable merchandise. You want it, you pay for it. It's capitalism, baby! I decided to take on this unmanned shop. Not to get all dark, but remember all the people who were in the shop are either dead, converted, or culled. Buy something. It helps the whole village when you do. We are 10 rupees short, actually. That's funny. Maybe I can't become a hero, but I can help people with heroic business deals. Okay, hang on. Ugh, neck. Oh yeah, let's Google something. Speaking of negatives, let's get all the negatives out of the way. Let's do this. Let's look up the Malamart theme. I'm joking, I'm joking. Let's see. No, we'll have plenty of time to listen to it later. Plenty of time. No, that's Tears of the Kingdom. I do not want Tears of the Kingdom emphasis. Yeah, no, Kakariko was absolutely smashed, and they just kind of keep it quietly in the background. Very ocarina, the way they do it, actually. Oh, excuse me. Why is this all Tears of the Kingdom crap? I don't care about Tears of the Kingdom crap. Nobody cares about Tears of the Kingdom, Google. When I look for Twilight Princess, I don't mean... God damn it. I mean, Google's search engine has been getting worse and worse, and I'm using the hack in order to bypass it. Okay, so... Wolf Link, which I actually have, can be used to quick load a game after associating it with a save file. It also gives you access to the Cave of Shadows. Okay. Link and Toon Link replenish your arrows. Princess Zelda and Sheik replenish your hearts. To full, by the way. And Ganondorf doubles all damage received. However, stacks with hero mode, so you can actually get into quad damage. That's it. However, that is pay for a full heal and pay for a full ammo refill. That's a negative. Negative to gameplay. Moving on. Amiibos. Like, I like amiibos as figurines. The less they have to do with the game, the better. Mallow hasn't even come by to say get well soon. He said he was going to get started. Hasn't come out of his closed up shop. Can you talk some sense to that kid? Yeah, sure. Alright, Act. Time we had a chat. Yeah, no kidding, Grumpy. I can't wait to give Tears of the Kingdom negatives for whatever it does over there. Are there none on this side? Of course there aren't. And yeah, locking behind an entire dungeon behind buying a microtransaction. Nah. We done. And I stand behind the negative for the heal, though, because to reframe it slightly, if Mortal Kombat was to come out with an item that you could just purchase to heal yourself in mid-fight to full, that's not great, you know? Now, I will admit it could be a lot worse. I'm not trying to be too harsh on it, but I still think this is not good, and I still think it is one negative worthy. As a fresh reminder to those of you out there who are watching this, probably on the VODs, 1 negative is not the end of the world. 2 negatives are not the end of the world. 3 negatives are not the end of the world. We've gotten up to 10 negatives for stuff. We've gotten up to 19 negatives for stuff. We've gotten up to 40 negatives for stuff. I think it's actually like 38. I forget the exact number. It was a bit. And it was all for one thing. Can anyone in chat tell me what the 40 negative thing was? Just make my day for a second. I don't remember how many negatives we gave the outro to Mass Effect 3. It was a lot. I think Frieza has it. He just doesn't know the name. So I'll give it to Frieza. The Sister of the Kuvma. An arc that somehow was so goddamn terrible. And never stopped being terrible. Back again, you'll never pass. Star Trek Online, Yura. Man, what is this? Dark Souls? Look at that tracking. Okay, seriously, are there no rupees up this stupid place? I do kind of want to go buy a sword or a shield. I guess I don't need a shield. I don't think I've ever not bought a shield coming up here. Oh, it's even worse than that, Bragman. So I got an email, right, from Tor today about an update that they actually did like a month ago. Basically just reminding me, hey, you know that update? It's still there in case you forgot about it. Which you might have, because it's Tor, and it's a dead game. Oh my god, you're right. The stamp cut me short. God damn you, stamps! Four more. Screw it. Telling you, Dark Souls tracking. A lot of people say, you know, different things they change in Dark Souls game, like adding a difficulty feature, or changing the iframes, or adjusting the rolls, or the stamina meter. But no, I'll tell you exactly what I would change if I could only do one change in a Dark Souls game. Tracking. So here's your tutorial on how this works. Yeah, I would probably get rid of input reading as well. Could you stop? Could you stop for 5 seconds, please? Thank you. Wow, that's a big one. Whoa. Oh, well, I'm sure that won't be relevant later. Why am I over here now? This looks dangerous. Is this the traditional Death Mountain welcome? You know, she's got a point. I don't feel very welcome here. What happened to my sworn brothers? Oh, right, they never met in this timeline. Never mind. That's right, I will use the corpses of my fallen enemies. And get knocked off at the last second. Rocks. That's what I think of you. There have been few sumo matches lately. Talk about boring, brother. So it's because young Gorons these days have no interest in the old arts like sumo. And former powerhouse Gor Koron is an elder. There's not much we can do, brother. Sitting in a hot spring warms up your body and soul, and heals you. Even Gorons need to cleanse their spirits once in a while. Sitting in the open-air bath at night is the best, brother. I could spend countless hours looking at the stars. Ah, nice and hot, just like I like it. Well, what's a human doing here? Well, the elder has told us not to let any humans near the mountain, but I suppose it's no business of mine. Come into the hot spring, refresh yourself, brother. Thank you. Yeah, there's an intruder. Well, I'm gonna go back to my bath. I mean, do you blame them? No, Best of Both Worlds Part 1 is still it, Ross. Actually, if anything, it's gone up. Do you talk or kill? Okay, death to you. Okay, fine, dude. Just trying to play nice, but now you're dead. It's okay. I'll just wait until the steam stops. And eventually the steam will stop, and I'll be able to move past. Because eventually... So anyways, the steam won't stop. It's actually based on your location. See? It just automatically shows up whenever you're near it, which I always find funny. Like, I always think that the mountain's just like, no! No, you can't climb up here! Yeah, so this is how we're supposed to get past this. Ignore the fact that we're walking through steam. That's true. Steam would be very exfoliating. A little too... It's kind of like being blasted with sand, one might say. Look at that tracking! 90 degrees! 90 degrees! So what did yours shift to, Ross? I mean, mine shifted off of... originally it was Tapestry for me, and it shifted off of that after rewatch. Tapestry certainly nails it in the end, but it just has that filler section I'm not a big fan of. Can I help you? Gorons, I swear. Honestly, if this section went on just a little bit longer, I'd probably give this a negative. It doesn't, so I won't. Right, speaking of which. Hey, enough! You like nipples, right? This young one's such an imposing enemy, you must all gang up on him. I think not, little brothers. I am a Goron and elder, little human. I am called Goron. Because of certain circumstances, I must lead the Goron tribe in place of Darbus, our tribal patriarch. Tell me, little human, do you come from the village below? You've done well to come this far. You are strong for a human. However, the mines beyond here are sacred to my tribe. Outsiders are not allowed. Unless... I could make an exception, but you have to beat me in a contest of power. Are you willing to try that, little human? Of course he did, Ross. He probably never even met Link. Like, think about it for a second. Now, that does mean that Link did actually go on to live a long and prosperous life in the Wind Waker timeline. That was weirdly quiet. Jesus Christ, he's huge. So anyways. Young warrior, you have strong will, sharp eyes. Fine traits. Want to see how well you can use them? You've seen it, I would bet. The mountain erupting without pause. When the mountain began to rage, all four of us elders and Darbus, our patriarch, went inside to investigate its anger. We have a treasure that was entrusted to us by the spirits, and we must protect it, you understand? The moment Darbus reached out and touched the treasure, everything went wrong. He collapsed, and before our very eyes transformed into an unspeakable monster. He began to rage through the mines, trailing ruin behind him, and the eruptions grew more frequent and more severe. We used all of our strength to seal him deep inside the mountain. It grieved us to do this to our patriarch, but we had no other course of action. I ask this favor of you, young warrior. Go to the aid of Darbus. Make no mistake, the spirits have guided you here. Like, literally, yeah. behalf of my entire clan, I ask you for your aid. You too. Let the young warrior pass. And yeah, if it's not obvious, there's a couple of cutscenes where you can wear the iron boots before you enter them, and it's kind of funny. There's at least one other I can think of off the top of my head. So anyways, this is the lava dungeon. Grass temple, fire temple, water temple. Unch, unch, unch. Much more of a plodding, metallic, mine-sounding song. Big contrast to the forest temple we were already in. So, we pull the T2 if we die in the lava. Don't think too much about how horrific that would be to die that way. Like, at what point do you stop being conscious of your death? That's what I want to know. Because you're aware at least for the first second or so. You know, as your legs melt. I mean, obviously he had some kind of positive ending since, you know, he clearly had married and had children. But yeah, no, he lost pretty much everyone he knew. Even Zelda, like, I've always wondered how he convinced Zelda, and consequently the king, of the truth of his words. Braygwyn, of course, knows all about what it's like to melt alive. Don't ask her how she knows this, really. Don't. You don't want to know. Oh yeah, the Deku tree is dead, because it dies pretty much no matter what. I'm avoiding that. Yes, that's right. She took notes. Yep, this Ruto. Well, we'll talk about her later. But yeah, she never becomes enamored with Link, is how I'd probably phrase that. Friggin' fire slugs, I swear. Hey, rupees. How big is my wallet right now? 500. That's not too bad. That should be fine. Where am I? Naburo? Yeah, who knows? Hey, your leader's evil. Yeah, I know. We also had him killed. What? We also know the Gerudo aren't really here this time around. And there's not really a lot of explanation for that. They're just kind of not here. Telma's pretty much the only remnant of the Gerudo as a people. Do you mind? Considering this is supposed to be the good king, I don't think he killed them. Then again, who knows? Hyrule does have a history of blood and greed, after all. Being honest, I doubt it's anything quite as dark as what we're thinking. It's probably something more simple, like the Gerudo just moved in with the rest of the kingdom, and that was kind of the end of that. Add in about 3 or 4 generations of crossbreeding, and there you go. That's the end of the Gerudo as a people. I mean, Telma just runs a bar in town, you know what I mean? Having said that, I also wouldn't be surprised if some of the Gerudo decided to peace out. No, I don't think the Gerudo are the Twilight, although I suppose there's nothing preventing a Gerudo from becoming a Twilight. Since that's a possibility. By the way, notice we've already had very tight dungeon design. And if you were paying attention, the first room was just go back and forth through the same area over and over again, but each time you're going through a different layer of it. Now we have the central room. There's always that central room in these dungeons, right? And this one, spoilers, a little bit, will be navigated thanks to that thing over there. Yeah, I love the music direction of this game. It is very atmospheric. But there's a reason I don't really have this game in my, like, normal rotation of music, you know? Speaking of rooms we do twice. Yeah, well, I mean, the Mallow Mart theme sticks with you, but I don't exactly listen to it on purpose, you know what I mean? It's more a torturous thing. I'm thinking about it, Jelly Leprechaun. Because I like this dungeon a lot, and it's probably going to get many positives. It's already pretty much earned at least one, possibly two. But yeah, there's going to be some Slowby sections here. Very Wind Waker-y sections. Yes, I do think that's strange, Hero. Come on, Nintendo. But you were the kings of 60 FPS for the longest time. Get with it. Yeah, I've actually noticed a lot of YouTubers use a lot of random Nintendo songs for their background music. And being me, I recognize all of them. A lot of Mario and Luigi stuff, specifically. Or Luigi's Mansion. It's another one. Well, that's a little weird looking. Looks cool. Kind of weird. And the switch is right on the thing, and thus we know immediately exactly how the magnet works. I also love the little electrical things as we're walking on the magnet sections. With you in a minute, Grandpa. I do like the cloth look of the map versus the normal one. Oh my god, dude, I don't mean to alarm you. You have fumaroles. I thought I felt a presence, but what a surprise to find a young human. Word has come to me of you, and if Korgoron has faith in you, then your heart must be true. I am one of the 4 Goron elders. Goramato is my name. You are a heroic young human. Please, you must lend this tribe your power. Slap. This is one of the key shards, and when merged together formed the key to the room where Darbus is being held. He's our patriarch. We split us the piece, each get the blah, blah, blah. So, just like we had to rescue the monkeys, here we have to rescue the people, and I don't think this is an accident. This theme isn't repeated too often, but I do think it's very deliberate that the first 2 dungeons dominantly involve specifically rescuing people, who then assist you in getting further into the dungeon. It helps to kind of establish the tone, and, well, it's also very important for Midna's character growth. Since we spent so much of our early time with her helping people directly. So, Here's your nightmares. That nice fellow helped you the other day. Well, I'll totally help you out again, because I am hell. Just all of hell. In bird form. So this is the same room we were just in. And this is the trick that this dungeon does all over the place. Even though this is the same dungeon, we're going to navigate it differently. In this case, dominantly by using the magnetic component. Yeah, I don't know what Uko was inspired by, and frankly, I don't want to. Yeah, that's what we did in Kakariko, too, if you're paying attention, Groompai. We saved the monkeys, we saved the kids, we saved the Gorons. And once again, navigating the room differently. This is a bit slow, though, I'm not gonna lie. Doubly weird, because the controller vibrates with every step. Oh no, I usually do too, Yura. In fact, I actually wonder, can I do that in this one? Hang on. Is that an option? Because we actually had options earlier. Let's see. Ah, rumble off, please. Thank you. Wait, I think I screwed that up. Yep, let's try that again. Off. There we go. There we go. Much better. No more vroom, vroom, vroom. Yeah, it's not terrible. I think I'm only going to give a single negative to it, but let's be clear. There's a bit of padding in the magnetic sections, and this is just one of them. This is probably the worst room for it, right here. Especially since if you fall, you're not going to enjoy that. Although, like good dungeons, this dungeon has shortcut design. So if you fall, you can actually get pretty much right back up without having to go redo separate rooms. Peace. So that's nice. Yeah, it's the vine climbing thing from like every Zelda from Ocarina onwards. Or even just regular-ass climbing in Breath of the Wild. And just thinking about the controls, you'd think they'd be awkward, but no, it's the same as it would be if you were right side up. Now, it can get screwed up if you continuously hold a control while transitioning from like right side up to upside down. But then all you do is just dead stick for a second, and then it'll reset to normal, like this. You know what bothers me? Look at Link's hat for a second. Oh, I know, it's such a minor thing, right? Who cares? But look at Link's hat. Negative to immersion. No, yeah, these magnets, we've got some ball bearings in the tip of our cap. That's what it is. How many of you never noticed that before, by the way? Yeah, it's another thing. We should also be seeing his, well, his outfit, I think is the nice way to put that. Yes, his finely sculpted glutes. Let's put it that way. I'm sure they are quite toned. Almost assuredly, Don. Like, I'm sure that's exactly what they did, is when you transition under those sections, I'm pretty sure gravity is following Link. That'd be a lot easier to program. This is an extremely unhelpful example, but in Mega Man 5, that's exactly how they did the gravity swapping sections there. That's another shortcut, by the way. If we die right now and have to start the dungeon over, we now have a way to get back to where we were. If you're paying attention, that is 3 shortcuts already in this dungeon. Okay, she's mad at me because I let my shield burn out. Look, I needed 10 more rupees, okay? What do you want from me? Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I need to go this way. Gravity Man stage is actually one of my all-time favorite Mega Man stages. No joke. Yeah, it's almost like they actually have dungeon design in this freaking dungeon. It's crazy. Because, yeah, there's the platform back to the beginning of the dungeon, right there. Oh, by the way, now our hat's dangling. Do you see that? What, Minda?
You need any power.
Oh my god, shut up about the shield. Nobody likes... Never go full fi. Never go full fi. Just like knockbacks, or like bouncing projectiles back to the enemies, kind of a thing. Jay in the Notebook. Are you kidding me? Would you come here so I can kill you, please? Please. I want you to die. Thank you. Thank you. I feel better now that you're dead. You're right, Bionic Punk. I'm sorry. I just need to ask, but excuse me. Excuse me. Could you please die? Thanks much. Yeah, it's true. Parrying is such a big deal in Breath, and I suppose Tears, that would work there. See you around, Blue Fusion Bolt. Yeah, no, I found that out only as recently as, like, what was it, last week when we played Skyward Sword? 2 weeks ago? Something like that. Apparently, it is supposed to be pronounced Fi. I've been saying Fee for like a decade, or however long it's been since that game came out. But no, it is apparently supposed to be Fi. I've been trying to force myself to change, as I usually do when I hear the correct pronunciation. Like, it took me years to get used to Tidus, but I got there. Hell, I'm glad I'm playing this game. Maybe not now. I'm not going to lie to you. This is not the mind state I want to be in for playing one of my favorite games of all time. But, you know, nothing I can do about that. Then why Diablo? Because screw him! Also, her name is Eris. Alright, so, let's see here. By the way, notice how the water dungeon here... Sorry. The fire dungeon uses the iron boots better than Ocarina originally did. I just find that mildly amusing because... I mean, because it's true. I don't know what else to add to that. It makes sense, though. Again, they designed the dungeon around multiple items. We're walking. And it's Marl, Luca. I forget what else. Did you know you could do that midair? Yeah, I did have to look up one thing, and I did actually ding it as a negative for it. But honestly, I don't anticipate having to look up anything for this particular playthrough. We'll see if I have to eat those words later. Whoops, that's right, I need to go grab this anyways. Not just because I know this game well, I know plenty of these games well, but because it's a well-designed game. Don't worry, I'm sure I'll have to look up some really, really dumb thing. That's always how it is, right? Probably salt, Bionic Monk. I hear that's the latest rage amongst internet types. Yeah, we're not going to get all the heart pieces. That's crazy talk. We've gotten a few, and we might never get any again. We'll see. This game can actually get mean, so we might get a couple of extra ones, though. I mean, that's just Nintendo in general, I think, Jelly Leprechaun. And of course, I've seen people say, oh my god, I wish we'd go back to the days of walkthrough-itis. Back when Nintendo games were made for men! Manly men! Wearing tights, I guess. I don't know. When men were men, and women were men. And animals were men. I mean, we've seen two-handed combat in this series because we've seen Breath of the Wild, so we know it exists. Yeah, this is why this is a negative, by the way. That's true. We've also had the Begoron sword since 90 whatever. 7? No, 8. I stand by my statement, though. Breath of the Wild was actually a better showcasing of two-handers than anything before that. Because it really changed how you played the game, whereas the Begoron sword ultimately was just the Master Sword, but a little longer. But like the spears, for example, in Breath, completely changed how you fight. That's right, no men! No man, no manly man. Yeah, and the big-ass axes, which are actually my favorite weapon in Breath of the Wild. Well, favorite's the wrong word, but if I want something to die, I use a giant two-handed axe. Spears were awesome, especially if you got one that actually had decent durability to it. Now, An idea I've heard several times, including in these very streams over the last few weeks, is make it so the Master Sword can turn into other weapon formats. It's still the Master Sword in lore, but like it expresses itself differently. It turns from a sword into a great sword, into an axe, into a spear. And each one, just like in Breath, changes how you attack and what kind of moves and animations and reach and all that fun stuff you get. Yeah, Fi just gets a haircut and... The Master Axe. Actually, that has kind of a ring to it. It would be very Nintendo, too. Also our BMOS for the game. Oh, that would be even cooler. Like, I don't know if I want to limit it that way, but at the same time, making the form you pick change the form of the Master Sword would also be very cool. So you switch to Zora form, Trident, right? You switch to Gerudo form, and now you're dual wielding. Stuff like that. Haven't you seen my my thumbnail, Yura? I'm racist. I don't know context for that thumbnail, and I don't want to. All right. Okay. Wow. I suck at life. I'm going to go kill myself now. Now it has to be dual scimitar, Ross. Dual wield. Goron form is the hammer, of course. That's obvious. That's an easy one. Listen, all I'm saying is the Tusken Raiders need to be genocided. I don't think that's an unusual thing to say. Nobody freaks out when I say we should wipe out the Twilight's hammer cultists. Why do you freak out about the Tuskens? God. Kokiri bow? Oh, there's an interesting thought. Hi. Shouldn't have gone for that. The Master Shot. It's actually a gun. It's a sniper rifle. It's a giant-ass anti-materials cannon. And I'm barely joking. Please tell me it wouldn't be cool to be like, all right, you know, you're walking around in something like Breath of the Wild and you see a camp you want to wipe out. So you're like, all right, switch form, lay down, get this giant freaking sniper rifle here. Zoom in the camera. Go, 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 go. All right, that guy's dead. Go, go, go. I'd play that. That's all I'm saying. Ah, the young human. I'm pleased to see you make it this far, brother. I'm one of the 4 elders. I'll later be working for that stupid kid at Malamar for some reason. They really... This game actually has a relatively small cast, but they like to have them recurring quite a bit. And I actually think that's to its value. I know some people cry, ah, small world syndrome. I don't agree. You've heard of the plight of our patriarch, otherwise you would not have come to see me. Yeah, take this, brother. You got a thing. There's one more shard, but seeing you has reminded me of the dangers that line the path to it. There's a weapon, said to have been left in this mine by a hero of old. It's beyond price, so we have protected it through generations. Now, when our tribe balances the brink of ruin, it could aid our salvation. It's stored at safely ahead. Talk to the guard, take it with the blessing of the gods. Go. Give me your stuff. I also like how it's obvious that this mine was supposed to be inhabited, and each of these looks like a domicile. That makes perfect sense. Just like the Forest Temple, until troubles happened, people lived here. People hung out here, right? This wasn't a death doom place. And I know that the Zelda series in general has managed that. Ocarina did that rather infamously. But I think this game succeeds at it best, my opinion. I think that pretty much all of these dungeons feel like a place that existed before the game started, you know what I mean? And served another function. And they call it a mine. You have to say it right. Yeah, the Arbiter's Grounds was definitely used for something before we got there. So was Snowhead. Or not Snowhead. That's Majora. Snow Peak. The Lake Bed Temple is another obvious one. This place. The city. The palace. And the other temple. God, I'm just going to dance around some spoilers there. Sorry, one moment. I'm thinking. This is no mine. It's a tomb. We should have never come here. Everybody out! And that's when the executives who were in charge at the time were like, what's going on? That's actually what real life CEOs look like. If you ever wondered, the Watcher in the Water in Fellowship of the Ring. That's their physical appearance. That's how they got footage for that scene. Rather than doing big, expensive CGI, they just walked up to an executive and said, hey, so we're not going to make money this quarter. And he immediately and they just had all the actors react live. And you know how Peter Jackson has that unique directing style. So he was doing that thing where he didn't tell anybody he was going to do that. So all of the reactions to the giant monster that is the executive, that was real. That was their actual reactions to that. I'm glad you like Otherworld Nebula. And you're literally Hitler. Okay, we're done. Now, Yura, there's... You're literally Ganon, Otherworld Nebula. I mean, I'd rather be Ganon than Hitler. It's sort of sad when you think about it. Wait, am I? Yep, okay. Sorry. I mean, I did like Shadow of Mordor, or Shadow of War, whichever one was the second one. I know it, Otherworld Nebula. Ugh. That fool Ganondorf thought he was doing his own bidding, but he's following me. Exactly, Bionic Punk. And actually, knowing Tolkien, all jokes aside, that wouldn't surprise me. I don't think it's true, but that would not surprise me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold up. Change direction a little bit there. There we go. If you're ever not sure where you are, you can just do this, and then everything gets even more confusing. Because that's the floor over there. Oh, there's the ceiling. So I always have troubles with this mini-boss. I'm not really sure why, but I do. So, prepare to watch me die. Whoa, human? What business does human have here? None! No business! This is a forbidden place. I'll protect this treasure from you. Even though you've got permission from the elders, I'm just that much of a dick. I'm secretly Raphael from TMNT. Seriously, look at him. He kind of looks like it, even. Oh, crap. I hit that game. Yes, Raphael uses the size. Interesting. And, okay. And he just murdered a human. I just want you to know that, dude. You just murdered someone. You monster. Ignore that. New bugs being developed right before your very eyes. Yeah, that's what's supposed to happen when that happens there. I saw what happened. I've just never seen that happen before. Don't worry, I'll give you a bomb massage. Hold still, buddy. Hold still, brother. I'll give you a lava massage is what I'll do. We done here? That hurt a lot. Who knew humans were capable of such feats of strength? Maybe you're gonna see the patriarch of our tribe? Ah, so that's why you're here. In that case, take the weapon of the hero of the past, but in exchange, you gotta save the patriarch. I have to do the thing I was here to do? Shucks. What error shall I do? With skills like yours, even the Patriarch can be brought back to his senses. Take the hero's weapon. Save the Patriarch. Fine. So you made it all right by coming here. You get to keep some treasure of an ancient hero. You've come all this way, so why not take it? Might even make you look a little more heroic. Well, yeah, that's what usually happens. If you throw someone into a lava bath, they just become more cool. Look at Darth Vader. Anakin Skywalker? Yeah. Darth Vader? Much cooler. You got the bow, the other weapon of the... If you've been paying attention, we've actually already interacted with several puzzles that could have been done with a bow. But of course we didn't have a bow yet. And now, we have the ultimate weapon. Killing this slug. Yeah, see, if Gollum had time to be cool, he would have been cool. Ooh, it's a little tighter than I thought. Ooh. I can do that. I got this. I got this. Also, as usual, for good dungeon design, the enemies in here are pretty uniquely weak to the item you get in the dungeon. I mean, it does sound like a cool idea, Hira. It's such a shame we never got that. There we go. Sup? Yeah, that Shire game, I'm still a little bit unsure of because I'm not sure if it has any, gameplay. But I'm still interested enough to want to know more. Oh, wow, I missed. Listen, if you can't smoke pipeweed, which as we all know is canonically just, tobacco, is it really a Hobbit game, honestly? Hell, you can even do that in Lotro. It's a buff item. And a quest item a few times, I think. I'm not sure, I don't remember on that front. Oh, his point being smoke! Tom Bombadil mode. You just dance through the things going, Harry, har, marty doo, blardy darty doog. I'm terrible and awful and lower the entire quality of the entire Lord of the Rings series by about 50%. If I died, the world would be a better place. La la la. EDF! EDF! Sorry, what, Luke? I did not know they were making a new one. No, I thought the series died after the last one had issues. I mean, if I did want to die in real life, Tom Bombadil does seem like the right kind of guy to kill me. Let's see, is that everything? I think so. Yes. Interesting. Well, I honestly had not heard about that load, like I said. So how many of you tend to forget this elder right here when you replay this game? Here you are at last. I heard you might pay a visit, young human. I'm far-sighted in all things. Here you go, last key shard. You got the big key. Who knows how powerful Darbus is in his new grotesque form, but I suppose I trust your power. No, courage. Courage. Is nobody paying attention? How many of you get to this point, get that 50 rupee thing, and it says, your wallet's full? Now, one thing I do like about Twilight Princess is if you loot some rupees and you can't carry them, then they go right back into the chest, so you can pick them up later if you need them. Unlike some previous games, like I mentioned, where you just loot it and the rupees just kind of go off into the ether. Probably our spruce? Damn, I usually have a pretty good memory for that sort of thing, but I don't actually remember one like that off the top of my head. Yeah, I hate it when things I'm trying to kill just resist being killed. It's really frustrating, actually. If they would just die like this, things would be so much easier. But is that how it really happened? The bow would probably be part of what we usually call the usual kit. Not that's bad, it's just, you know, it's the usual. We'll see how the rest of the kit fares. Wow, this game sucks. God, why would any babies play this baby game for babies? Video games are for dorks. This game's just Ocarina again. Way to innovate, Nintendo. Well, so far, A Link Between Worlds is our best scoring one. We'll see how this one manages against that. I am actually quite curious. I'm not sure, Grumpy. People are just people, Jay. Ignore them. They do not matter. They are beneath us. Disgusting, insignificant insects! Now, I'd call them vermin, but I've recently realized I should not do that even jokingly, so... Anybody who actually calls another human being vermin, maybe don't look at that too much. Oh, hey, there's another switch up here. By the way, same central room. Like you do. And we're done with the central room. Just like that. Yeah, because of real life. That's all I'm going to say there. Because certain real-life people have started using that terminology. And honestly, real-life Nazis did that a bit. You know, referring to certain types of classes of people as vermin in order to desensitize people to them, in order to be able to make it easier to dehumanize them and eventually dehuman them. So I'm trying to not even joke about that. That's not funny. Yeah, Mouse. M-A-U-S. If you'd ever read that comic, it's actually worth a read. It's pretty old at this point. Yeah, I think it's not true hit scan, but there's an easy way to tell. And that's the long shot. Ah. Okay, no, there is actually a travel time there. Yep, nope, there is. It's pretty short. But there is a travel time there. I love this bow, by the way. Back in the day, my friends would always hand me the controller. GameCube controller, of course, when they wanted me to do, like, the sniper challenges and stuff like that. Have I played Doom on the Switch? Actually, yes. Although not my Switch and not my copy of Doom. Mouse and keyboard. The way Doom was intended to be played. Sorry, I had an itch on my upper lip there. Don't look at me like that. I had an itch. Don't judge me. Yeah, the Doom God intended. An angry man violently killing lots and lots of demons. Although, actually, I say that out loud. There's other ways to do that, but I always like being funny about it. Can I help you? Apparently not. Who knew? Isn't it nice how, like, the iron boots are on an item instead of, like, a menu thing? Could you imagine if every time I had to switch between the iron boots? Hang on. Yes, game. Thank you, game. Thank you, game. Thank you, game. But imagine every time I had to do the iron boots, it'd be like, hang on. Switch up here. Equip. And then that was what was required every single time to change the boots. Me neither. Door. Where's the door? There it is. God dang it. Notice how this is the same room we've been through, but we're going through such a completely different path that it might as well be a completely different room. What did the friends say? Did they say, you're dumb and you're stupid and you're Hitler? Or did they say, you're wise beyond your years? I believe you, my friend. I will do as you suggest. I will play the correct version of the game. Serious like it. They can draw pretty fast, too. These guys are jackasses. And then they played the emulated version, they're like, ah! You have led me astray, you're a... Yeah, you know what? She can join the club. I am also sad that Ocarina 3D is not on the Switch. And I would bet at least some developer or executive somewhere's like, why would we need to release the 3DS version on the Switch? It's already on the Switch. Hello, Evo. You missed the lava dungeon, but that's okay. Because now we're gonna kill the boss. Murder the Gorons. Eat them! Then kill... I really hope we get a bunch of 3DS games ported off the system into the Switch too, and I mean that. One moment, please. Yep, nope, that feels right. Listen, I need minerals in my diet, okay? Yeah, where's my frickin' Gen 5 remake? No, not that crap you did on the Switch. Like an actual remake. You get an actual developer working on it like you did with Gen 3 and 2 and 1. Boss time. Darunia? You look a little different. Gen 5 is only available on the DS, so it could just use a port. But it absolutely could use a port. A pony and it being on GOG. I'm with it. Hey, are you okay? Oh my god, Evo, is this you? This is Evo when she was having that fever. See? Twilight Igniter virus. Oh shoot. And first of all, dynamic music. Second of all, notice how even the boss uses the two items of the dungeon. The bow, and the boots. I mean, notice his body is kind of see-through because of the way they do the texturing, which is actually a really cool effect, and I love. Unlike the previous boss, which was fun but questionable, this is just an awesome fight. These pillars over here are recovery in case you need them. He has big sweeping attacks, which I'm not letting him do, of course. He gets a little bit more aggressive and faster the further into the fight you get, if you let him. Which, of course, we're not. And it's pretty intuitive. No, no, no. There you go. Hey, Fyrus. Chill. Wind Waker is a better game than this in every way except for gameplay and story. And... No, I think I stand with it. As usual, the eyeball turns into the heart piece. You notice that, by the way, almost every boss's eye specifically turns into the heart piece. And then the shadow turns into that thing. Well done. Now we have 2 fused shadows. You know, you've been very helpful so far. So as a reward, I'll tell you an interesting story. Zant. That's the name of the King of Darkness who cast this pall of shadow over your world. He's very strong. You would do nothing to him in your current state. But Zant will never be my king. I have nothing but scorn for his supposed strength. Not that your Zelda is much better. It still appalls me this world of light is controlled by that princess. A carefree youth, a life of luxury. How does that teach duty? But I guess I shouldn't begrudge her the circumstances of her life. She didn't choose it after all, and I would never wish harm on her. No, as long as I can get my hands on the fused shadows, I'll be just fine. Nope. One more left, shall we? Meanwhile, he's restored. But I want my heart piece. Give me my eyeballs. What am I doing here? My head aches. Yes, sorry, I've been shooting you and stabbing you in the head for a couple of minutes. Sorry about that. Yes, now to finish the job. Shink. Heroic lore. You know, you say that. North of here, across the plain and past the Great Stone Bridge, in the lands guarded by the spirit Lineru, you shall find the one you seek. Yes, heroic dirtbag. Hey, Colin. Ilya. Kill me. No, you've got to save Ilya. She's your girlfriend, Link. Those monsters left me with the other kids, but they must have taken her somewhere else. Whenever I thought I couldn't go on, I would think of you and Ilya and hold on. Kill me. Sorry. See, I'm fine now. Remember what I told you back in Ordon? When I grow up, I'm gonna be just like you. So you don't have to worry about me anymore. Go help Ilya. Also, you know, I've got him. Leave the children to me. I will watch over them, I swear it. Do not let their fates trouble you. Go to those who need you. In Hyrule, countless tales are told of the ancient hero. It was a century ago! I'm sorry. That's not even me. That's actually the official source. This is 1 century, about 4 generations, after the events, 5 generations after the events of Ocarina. So imagine describing something that happened, oh, I don't know, in the 1920s as ancient. Do you remember the ancient stories of World War I? And we found this ancient device. It's called a car. May the graces of the great goddesses who shaped Hyrule bear you on your way. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's actually another thing that's been bugging me, Freezing. And if I'm being honest, it's probably a bit of underthought. Because the ancient hero didn't really do anything at this timeline. Like, think of it from their perspective. Peace, harmony, peace, harmony, peace, harmony. Some kid shows up, proves somehow that he's truthful, and says, hey, that guy over there, he's going to cause some issues. So they execute that guy, and they go back to being peace and harmony. The kid leaves, goes to another dimension, which they, of course, don't even know about, saves that dimension, which they don't know about, and then comes back and settles at the ranch. Where's the hero here, exactly? Unless this is one of those funny things where it's like, you know, he kept telling Malin, like, oh, man, Malin, back when I was a kid, I saved the world twice. And Malin's like, uh-huh. Sure thing. Whatever you say, honey. So, slightly more people in town now, since the Gorons are here. Very grateful to you for saving our chief and our precious mines, brother. We caused a lot of trouble for the people of this town. It's our turn to repay them. Climb my way back and I'll launch you up to the hot springs. This is a retro game, Yura. I mean, not this exact version of this game, but, I mean, this game came out 18 years ago. This game is old enough to vote. Saved our chief, brother. We're thankful. Now we're able to go back to the village again. Since this town was also attacked, I figured the townsfolk would need some supplies. So my son and I brought some things down, brother. At night, my son opens the shop. You should go down. Ah, good warm soak is just what my muscles need before the evening falls, brother. I sell stuff all from across the bomb shop. Hope to see you there, brother. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, this exact version of the game is almost a decade old. Don't be ridiculous. I'm not old. I'm not old. Well, thankfully, we don't really have any video games in the 50-year range. I mean, we do. There are video games that are 50 years old, but nothing we're ever going to cover. LTTP is 33 years old. I remember when that game came out. So, now we can buy bombs. Zelda 1 is 38. You know, bud, how about this? Finally managed to get my numbers together and open the shop again. Sort of. I only got one type of bomb. But hey, it's one more than none, right? If only my storehouse had survived. But hey, ain't as bad as all that. What do you got? 30 rupees? Sold. You ain't got a bomb bag, huh? I got a special offer right now. Bomb bag kit. Comes with premium 120 rupees, which I do want this. Oh, and you can combine bombs with arrows to do bomb arrows, because this game is hysterical. I haven't decided if I care enough to get the shield yet. You know what? Hang on. Let me just pull out the lantern here for no reason. Are you insane, bud? That's dangerous. Don't go lighting fires in the middle of my shop. And if you go up here... He's just got that on the ready. Oh, that's... Well, no, we already have shield best. I guess I'll buy the shield. I think buying the shield starts that quest chain anyway, so... I don't remember. I don't remember if it's required, because I always buy that shield. Anybody else use audio cues to optimize the rolling? You wait for that whip at the end. Anyways. Bye. Time is money, and if you're done, you're wasting both. See, funnily enough, I like rolling because immersion. I like feeling like I'm doing something. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. Like, I find in traversal in which I'm doing something, the player is doing something more engaging than just holding forward like this, right? That's one of the reasons I like dragon flying over in Dragonflight. I don't remember if we did, to be completely honest with you, Ross. Hey Zelda, what's going on? I mean, honestly, do you think Zelda would take the Link that does speedruns seriously? Because I do. I think she would be sufficiently terrified to do anything he asks and run away if he ever got too close. Yeah, the Wind Waker speedrun, exactly. Pause. So we have bombs, finally. Yeah, bomb hover. Which, if you remember, its other name is zombie hovering. Which Zelda do I think is physically the strongest? I mean, I feel like the only answer there is Tetra. Oh, whoops, I don't have it equipped. Let's fix that. Well, I suppose that's true. We do have Ocarina. We just... I don't know. We do know she manages a few things without us, so that's entirely feasible. See, Spirit Tracks is kind of a technically, because she's not that strong unless she's inhabiting the body of a giant mecha golem. I feel like that's a little bit cheating of the question intended. I played this game as it came out, the night it came out, actually. We were enthralled. It was me and several other friends, I will not name out loud. And, yeah, we just sat there and played the crap out of this. It was something we used to do semi-frequently. Hey, off the deeper end. Run! Run! Okay, so, what rocks are you talking about, Trakaji? I do miss having someone physically there to share enthusiasm with. Yeah, I remember the midnight releases. Ah, there they are. Oh, the Wii was a huge deal, too. That's another thing. Alright, I have to do it this way, don't I? Why aren't you letting me do this? Combino! How do in this version? There we go. It's a little weird. I mean, yeah, digital gaming has kind of taken over that, but I don't know. I still like launch events when they're done properly. Usually in the MMO space at this point. I did once upon a time, Ira, yeah. Fear not, Evo. Because it's Mr. Meow! Notice he's got the little bunny icon on his shirt from the bunny hood. Yep, it's a letter. 2 letters, in fact. Onward to Meow! Everyone asks about the 5-heart thing. I don't think I really have an opinion on that at the moment. Because, like, it's just a change, you know? That being said, they certainly do up the amount of heart pieces that they throw at you, which is kind of strange. I don't know. I do love random spoilers. Wait, no, the opposite of that. So, it probably hasn't been obvious, but as we've been progressing, the whole game has been, like, slowly locking off what we can interact with. Oh, I can hear it. I know it's here. There it is. I try not to act, but I have seen a couple for the sake of research. Because there's none of those weird statues and these target things on the wall. I have not actually seen the Twilight manga, assuming such a thing exists. Which I am assuming, based on context clues. I remember the LTTP manga. That was a weird one. Stuck with me for a while, though. And of course, the Ocarina manga, which I actually referenced several times during that run. That's the one, Frieza. So, yeah. We are now locked off a little bit from from traversal. And this is going to form a little bit of a puzzle piece for us for a bit. I mean, you don't have to, Jolly Leprechaun. That's kind of your call, not mine. But shorts do not exist if you do not make clips. That's just the truth. See, this is how I imagine Link actually walks up to Zelda. Hey, Zelda! I'm coming! It is, Rex. It just... Until a certain point of the game, not restoring this bridge is actually really frustrating for traversal. Like, I know that sounds strange, but speaking from experience, routing around not being able to go up and down this particular path from the east to the north section is actually really irritating. Come, Minda. Or, I mean, Bragwin. That's why I kind of haven't decided yet what I think of the 5-heart thing off the deeper end. It depends on what they do with it. Listen, there's only one Mega Man manga. That's Archie Comics. Which have been discontinued, so that's cool. Probably, Act. You just shot me with a fire arrow. You're dead! Yeah, go ahead, Act. What the hell is this? Oh, well, let's try and bomb it, see what happens. Huh. Bombs didn't push through it. A game's genre I wouldn't get tired of? No. Any genre will eventually wear me out. I mean, platformers are probably the closest to the kind of thing I can just play and play and play and play, as I've proven twice now as we've covered the Mega Mans and the Marios. You stay here, Epona. I mean, Bragon. Ah, we're finally here. Only one fused shadow left. Yeah, put it in Nintendo Act. So I guess this is the last of the Twilight you'll see, I guess. Whether or not you accomplish your final task and survive is up to you. So what will you do? I got this. Oh god. I'm scared. Midna? Will you hold me? Yeah, not like that. Okay, okay, okay. Alright then, I guess I'll have to help you. What a shame that this is the last of the Twilight. I'd become so fond of seeing it covering this world. Or is it really the last you'll see? So, shall we get going? What is that? Yeah, this is a long Twilight section. In fact, we will not finish this today. Pretty much guaranteed. Yes, we now learn the scent of Ilia. Don't. I can tell by the look of your face, you smell the girl. Well, good. It's another clue then. But this scent could be quite old. What if she's still alright? Look, we're a dog. It's kind of our thing. I mean, I already sniffed Bragwin's butt. Haven't we seen this castle before? So we finally made it back here. Well, only a little farther, so hang in there. Or so I'd like to say, but the going's a lot harder from here on out. Yeah, this, like we said, this is the longest Twilight section by a pretty large margin. I know several people, I wouldn't say they disliked this, but it just shocked them how long of the gap it is between this and the Lakebed Temple, which is the next dungeon. Nah, it can't be right, Jelly Leprechaun. They wouldn't have the money for that. This is also pretty much exactly the moment at which I had to put this game down for my friend to recover and stop being ill so we could continue to play through later because he was just getting too nauseous at stuff like what you're listening to right now. Interesting little tidbit. So I mentioned how they're already in ruins. You can actually see how chunks of the castle are already in ruins before the attack happened. Now, you could argue that that might have only happened during the attack, and I actually have no counter-argument for that, but it makes more sense to me that they just didn't really bother maintaining the walls, because why would they? They don't need them for anything. Monsters in this setting only spawn when there's a locus of evil nearby. So that means under normal circumstances, there are no monsters out and about. Just wild animals, which are easy to deal with. So, do you know how expensive it is to maintain a wall that size? Why even bother? That's another thing. Why even bother to have fortifications if stuff can just go right over or through it? So this is like our 4th bombable wall section. I'm just pointing it out because once we have access to our bombs again, we will have access to a lot of little side areas and shortcuts. So you remember Lake Hylia, I'm sure. Well, speaking of dilapidated things. But yeah, Lake Hylia's seen better days. More like Pond Hylia right now. What's all this weird black stuff on the bridge? It's like kind of liquidy and reflectivey. That's weird. Do you smell anything funny? Nice shot. That's an interesting question. Do we have anybody here who has actually a sufficiently good engineer to be able to tell us if this is even like remotely feasible? The way this bridge is lined up right now. Like, look at that. That just looks super unstable. But I am not an engineer. Oh, that was a close one. We're lucky there's a puddle down below, right? So this is Lake Hylia, but there's so little water. Anyway, let's go take a look around. Come on, let's go. Now, if I was to be generous, I would say they did that on purpose, but I'm not sure they did. So here's the Zora. The drop in water's been faster than predicted. At this rate, Lake Hylia will drop. It's a race against time. Oh yeah, so this is another circumstance, by the way. You can see the timing mechanism, the bones of the original timing mechanism still here. Because they all talk about how the lake and the water level is constantly dropping. And that was probably supposed to be another timer. Once again, that is a narrative ticking clock, not a gameplay one. You have infinite time to do this section. Had absolutely no water flowing from upstream. There's no mistaking it. Something must have happened at the water source in our home. How are we supposed to return upstream to our home? With the way things are now, we can't even walk back up there. I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's fine. It's fine. Here's the creepiest looking guy in the game. I'm too old for this. Fire and Falby's watertop land of fantastification. It's our grand reopening at our new lake bottom location. A nice lake. Don't lakes usually have more, I don't know, water? Did the Zoras who live upriver do something? Or is it a curse from that spirit that floats around up there? Whatever. It's not like I can go up and complain. That's way too high. What's that? A customer? Oh, it's a monster! That's fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, blessedly, there's no tingle in this game. So you remember the hawk, of course. This is the Twilight hawk. It's a little different. Damn it. Wrong way.
Might be if you would.
Lovely combat music. Ignore seeing through the ground. Ignore it. Ignore it.
So hard.
Hey, stop it. I'm your new master now. Now settle down. Hey, why don't we use this guy to get all the way to the lake's water source? So now we play as Midna for a second, while that's us being carried in the talons of the Nightmare Death. Hey, Spartan, I'm sorry you don't want to be at the wedding. Weddings are usually good things. At least in my experience. I've been to like 9 at this point in my life. Also, nice mix here. Okay, Jesus Christ game. That was weird. It just kept going up as I was trying to go down. I think I know what happened, though. Yeah. Once you've dashed, you're committed to the dash direction. Like that.
What you have?
Man, the last wedding I went to was a Persian wedding. You ain't partied until you see a Persian wedding. It's loud, lots of noise, lots of dancing. I don't remember if they had booze. I don't drink. It was pretty. I'm pretty sure I've shown you pictures of it, even. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've shown most of my viewers pictures of it. God damn it. I didn't even realize it was toppling on me. That's that depth perception. God, that's on me. That's on me. Believe it or not, this is actually a tutorial, because later we have to do this, and it's a lot harder. And then after that, there's an optional thing where we can do this again for a minigame to get, I believe, a heart piece. Although, don't quote me on that. I don't know, Spartan. What's it worth to you? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I mean, wine's good for digestion, I think. Or maybe it's just, like, general health. I forget what. Wine's good for you. Oh, much better, Dame Celeste. Skyward flying is just... ugh. Okay, I'm going to start actually paying attention, because I don't want to do this a 5th time, or whatever we're up to now. Again, this isn't the hard version, and I should be embarrassed. I am. For dying on the easy tutorial mode of this. Yeah, I keep trying to rotate yogurt into my diet, but I don't know, it never really sticks. I think part of the problem is I never notice any difference, and so I just kind of stop doing it, you know? It's like, hey, this is healthy. Is it? You missed the big green section, Evo. You also missed the boss that was you. But that's okay. I'll never forgive you. Do you hear something? That bird turned out to be more useful than expected. Oh then, where's the village of Zorus? Let's go look for it. Getting cold. Hurry up. Did you actually miss the boss fight, Evo? Wow, I was kind of joking, but it sounds like you popped in, said hi, and I responded to you immediately. And then you immediately left before you even heard my response. I always knew, Evo. It's okay. Again, I'll never forgive you. Counting the boss, the dungeon got 5 positives and 1 negative. Counting the boss. Which puts it actually at equal for the forest. Well, no, the forest got 4 positives and 1 negative. Or maybe it was 5. 1... Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4... It was, yeah, so 4 positive, 1 negative for the last dungeon. Okay, Evo. No forgiveness! I'm going to give you a timestamp later, because I do think it's a joke that you will at least appreciate. You also missed the big open green section of the game. You keep popping in when it's Twilight. Don't worry, pretty soon we won't actually see Twilight anymore, but God. It's funny to me how often you pop in and it's like, hey, Twilight time. What are those Zoras up to, anyway? Rivers run totally dry, right? It can't work like this. Ugh. Cold. Miss my fur coat. Yeah, so it's not super obvious, but this is the sister, I believe, of the dude who sold the lamp all the way back in Farron Woods. What? Pay attention more. I mean, I'm telling you, I really do think, this is not a joke, I think what actually happened to the Gerudo is they just re-mingled with the rest of the Hyrulean society. It's been 5 generations. That's plenty of time for that kind of thing to happen. Yeah, good old-fashioned assimilation, except, like, less horrible than that word is usually used. So I guess not good or old or fashioned. Listen, I've played EU4. I know what cultural assimilation's like. I mean, that would make sense, Frieza. In a weird sort of a way. So, I've been willing to defend the visuals of this game for the most part. But if there's one spot that I don't enjoy visually, it's this room. Hey, what's going on here? I thought this was getting colder, but who would have thought it would be all frozen? This is the Zora village, right? Why don't I see any then? Well, anyway, let's check things out. Oh, and by the way, to be clear, this isn't a difficulty exclusive to the HD version. This area looks kind of terrible in the original as well. I'm not sure if it looks better or worse. I'm not staring at it side by side, but this place doesn't look good regardless. I have many bad memories of just exactly how blurry and vague and indistinct this game looked originally. In fact, I have a story for that, but that'll be tomorrow at our current rate. So, did you know there's a timing to these? I've been doing those pretty automatically up until now, but that's the first time we failed one. So, some people wonder if this is just a QTE. Not really. You do have to actually time these jumps. And it's possibly too fast or too slow, depending. And that was too fast, for example. Don't mind me. Just trying to backwards warp in Wind Waker there. I just mentioned it because I know several God damn it. It's looking away from the controller. I know several people who were playing this game and accidentally didn't realize that there was timing involved in these jumps, because this is the first section where it's really obvious. You have to hit them in a certain tempo. It's pretty easy to accidentally hit the tempo right in the woods, for example. But here... So what's going on with the Zora? This is one of the more quietly horrifying sections of the game. I love it. First, let's kill some people. Come here. It is time to kill you. I am playing this on a Wii U. The only version of this game that exists. This exact type of version of the game. Come here. Come here. Yes, it's the terribly marketed, terribly named Wii U, which apparently has different architecture than the Switch, although I haven't read all about that yet. So, here's the horrifying thing. We've been playing this game for a bit now. We know what most of this stuff means, so what's going on with all of that under the ice? The answer is... what's really interesting about this is because they were all so in motion, whatever froze this place had to have happened like that, right? Just instant freezing. Because otherwise they would be more clumped together, or they would be more passive or whatever. But no, they were clearly reacting to something and essentially did not make it to the surface. Because you notice a lot of those were swimming upwards. Yeah, this was just a whoosh. And they had barely enough time to react enough to try and get out before they were frozen in the ice. Even Midna's thrown by this. Now, she says we need to thaw them out. By the way, she's already been growing. It's been so subtle, I don't even blame you if you haven't noticed it, because it's a really gradual arc. But this is one of the first staircases at this point in her development. She's the one who says, we have to help these people. We cannot leave these Zora down here. Which makes sense. Remember, all we've been doing with her up till this point in time is helping people non-stop. So she says we need to, the portal should work, and she flat out tells us the portal should work. We need to find a way to melt the ice and come back here. Despite the fact that she points out the portal is here twice, by the way, I will freely admit I was stuck here for a long time, and I did not figure out what the hell I was supposed to do next.
From
I think this is what I want. I'm almost tempted to give this a negative, because there's not a lot that indicates what you're supposed to do here. It's like, go teleport. It's like, okay, and? But if you remember, when we were going up Death Mountain, that thing happened. And it is at a warp spot. This thing's been here a while, but it's still pretty hot. Speaking hot as it is, it just might be enough to melt the ice, don't you think? Oh, shoot, I think I might have already given it away because I'm here. So I'm not sure if she gives you a hint. Let's do this. Let's warp somewhere else and see if she gives us a hint. Because we never got rid of the chain, obviously, Zara. That's true, Rex. I don't know. I'll chew on this. This is probably as close to walkthroughitis as this game gets. Which says something. Now that we've seen it, it's not like we can ignore what's happening in Zora's domain. Unless we can melt the ice, the water will never be restored to Lake Hylia. We have to think of a way to melt the ice. Okay, so she does not tell you. So yeah, the goal here, and this is actually how I did this back in the day, was I just hit each spot. Warp, 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 and then, oh, it's this one. Okay. Yeah, no, there's a decent chunk of time, even if you're playing straight up, between this incident and the Gorons. Remember, this incident happened before we did the Goron dungeon. This is certainly one way to melt the ice. Yeah, honestly, we probably should have killed a lot of people here, if we're just being real. Because we're doing exactly what you think we're doing. Remember, all those Zora are in that ice there. Hey, remember how I mentioned how I kind of wish there was a little bit more world building about the water in Skyward Sword? Well, funnily enough, there's a little bit of world building about the water here. This is a magically generating source of water. And all the water slowly is drained out, either through evaporation or condensation or just bleeding out into the soil, which is why the lake is slowly lowering. It's because it needs fresh water coming into it to retain the lake's level. And that water comes from here, this magical source of water. I knew something so dangerous would come in so handy. Alright, Zoras are safe now, so let's go. The ice melted, restored to water flow normal. Can we finally meet the spirit of Lake Hylia? Yeah, first let's make sure all these people are alive. Because they're not doing so hot. Most of them can't even speak. I'm not... Okay. Apparently. I was about to say, I'm not sure any of them say anything here. Hey, you okay? What about those in the waterfall pool? They're fine. They're fine. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. They're fish food. Alright, so. Yes, someone helped you. Don't know who. Yeah, you get it. So, they're fine. Yay! But we need to get all the way back down to Lake Hylia. And remember, we had to do a whole mini-game to get up here last time. Please, you must allow me to thank you for revitalizing both my people and this spring, which is the water source for all the lands of Hyrule. In life, I was the elder of the Zora village and the queen of my people, Rutella. Not to be rude, but we didn't exactly do it for you guys. The Dark Ones, they raided this village and, as a message to my people, executed me before them. Yeah, straight up murderer. Young man, you who take the form of a proud beast. I have something to ask of you. When the Dark Ones descended upon our village, I sent my young one, Rallis, to Hyrule Castle to inform Princess Zelda of our fate. But I fear danger followed him from this doomed place. I feel it, his presence grows fainter to me over time. But my time in this world has passed. Though I would give it gladly, I no longer have a life to risk in his rescue. Please, would you save my dearest Prince Rallis? If you do this thing, I will bestow upon you the protection of water. This power will grant you the ability to swim and respire in very deep water, as if you were a Zora. Please, save my son. So if we help her, she'll grant you the power to swim in deep water, huh? So, what do you say, hero? Oh, but now that I think about it, I don't suppose you should meet the Princess of Wolf, huh? So, no hurry to return to the world of light, then, huh? Slight relief in her tone there. So anyways, as I was about to say, and I was so rudely interrupted. So, you know, we've already navigated this place once. How do we navigate a second time? Well, first of all, the terrain is completely different. But second of all, remember, again, we did a whole minigame to get here last time. So how do you think they handled the backtracking? I love this. This game has such good shortcutting, like, everywhere. By the way, we're already back. We're already back in Hylia. Boom, just like that. I think that's part of why I love this game so much. It wastes so little of my time. It lives and breathes things like mid-mission checkpointing, fast travels, and shortcutting. Aren't you awake yet? Look, we got washed all the way down to Lake Hylia, just as I predicted. Looks like we're right in the front of the Spirit Spring to boot. Talk about lucky. Yep, we're right where we need to go. Thank you for teleporting me here, game, instead of making me walk here for no goddamn reason. This is probably where we're going to cut off, right before we do this sequence. I am the last of the spirits of light consumed by Twilight. Hero, you are super dumb. Go do the longest Tears quest by far. This one's like twice the length of the other ones. I'm sure you know by now that they do this thing, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. Alright, we're gonna go and save. And tomorrow, we start this game today. We're already pretty far into it. Tomorrow, whenever we're ready to start, we'll go ahead and do the last tier section. We'll see how that reviews. And we'll go ahead and hit the third dungeon. See you guys.